Money and inflation, the quantity theory of money. So MV is equal to PY and M is M1 money, so liquid assets. V is the number of times money changes hands, and of course P and Y are price level and real GDP. So you assume that V is stable. So think of old habits dying hard. People's spending routines don't really change over time, and Y is stable, so the real GDP is stable. The economy is being fully utilized, and this means that inflation is directly caused by changes in M. So the vertical line over here on this graph is the money supply, and this is the demand curve. So it's vertical because the amount of money is fixed by the central bank. And this is done through changing the reserve requirements, the overnight interest rates, and these two basically mean that the central bank influences the amount of money other banks are willing to loan out. And 3 and 4 market operations and quantitative easing. It's where the central bank buys and sells government securities and assets, but through quantitative easing, it does this through printing new money. An example would be post-war Hungary, an example of hyperinflation. So extreme inflation was caused by supply shock after World War II, and this caused inflation to rise before they even started to print lots of money. So they had to pay war reparations, and the supply shock meant that infrastructure was destroyed, so supply diminished, but demand remained the same. So prices soared, and the medium of exchange was undermined as people had to use wheelbarrows to transport money. It was really inefficient, and the unit of account was diminished as the government could no longer keep track of how money was being utilized. Taxes could not be collected as it would diminish from one day to the other, and the store value. Obviously, all the value stored in money would be diminished by the next day as inflation was so high. So the government used hyperinflation they tried to repair productive factors. They gave out loans through the central bank to businesses, and these were not expected to be paid back. And these businesses hired workers at lower and lower real wages, and this transferred wealth from the workers to the businesses. And they hoped that the businesses would use this to repair all the infrastructure. And the workers had no choice but to do this because of their lower opportunity costs. They either had to do this or basically starve, as they had no soup kitchens because all their infrastructure was bombed out. And they ended this through a gold-backed currency, which ended the hyperinflation. On the left, you can see the rapid increase in the amount of currency, and on the right, you can see the real wage of workers decreasing. So in conclusion, we went over the quantity theory of money and how hyperinflation in Hungary after World War II transferred wealth from the workers to the businesses, and how the 3 roles of money were diminished. Here are the sources.